Good afternoon. This is Media Center Ukraine, Odesa. We are starting our working day with the briefing dedicated to social mission of the Church during the war. We are having with us archpriest Theodor Orobets, Secretary of Odesa Diocese of the Orthodox Church of Ukraine. The floor is yours. Good afternoon, everyone. Glory to Jesus Christ. Today I'd like to tell you about the importance of social services of the Church in general and Odesa Diocese of the Orthodox Church of Ukraine in particular. Church is a soul of the people. When people feel warm, when they are prosperous, they forget about Church and their soul, because everything's fine. Only a small part of the society is ready to understand the presence of God in their lives and be thankful for that. But in dark times, like the war, which leads to the very complicated conditions of life and existence, people start addressing the God. And here we speak about the necessity of Church, with the necessity of prayers and the support of Ukrainian soldiers. When the full-scale invasion started, the Church organized chaplain services. Our Church had already had some experience with this, because our chaplains have been there on the front line among servicemen since 2014. There is the law of Ukraine on chaplain services, and the law has already came into force, and we know how priests can become chaplains. Only priests from Ukrainian Orthodox Church can become chaplains. And so, for example, the Russian Patriarch is not allowed to provide their chaplains to the armed forces of Ukraine. Every priest fully understands his responsibilities and importance for the society. That's why our priests accompany servicemen during the training in barracks and on the front line. That was the first thing we did when the full-scale invasion started. Secondly, of course, we support people who address us, our parishioners. People did not know what to do during the first day of the full-scale invasion, that were the last days of February 2022. Priests back then could not prioritize themselves, their families, their children. They had to support their parishes with prayers, and they also organized together with them roadblocks and everything necessary to protect their cities, towns, and villages. Later on, we faced one more challenge, namely IDPs. These are our brothers and sisters, Ukrainians, who experienced shelling and occupation of the Russian troops. They had to leave their homes, their cities, towns, and villages, and to flee to safer places. Many people moved to the Odesa region. First, they were Orthodox Christians who addressed us because they had contact, they had experience of communication between parishes. So we first supported those people. For Orthodox Christians, the main thing is love, because there was the Jesus Christ commandment to love everyone like we love themselves. And it doesn't important. It doesn't mean it is not important if you are baptized, if you go to church. If we understand that people are in need, we are ready to open our homes, our churches, to support others. We provided humanitarian aid, particularly foods to people. Then we organized accommodations for those people. We also provided clothes, and sometimes we organized free time, like to entertain children, for them to be distracted from the horrors of the war. Everything is organized by our priests, and our parishes support us with this. These are simple people, common people, ordinary people who were doctors or teachers before the full-scale invasion, but they were united by the love to Church, Ukraine, and the God. We keep the same pace. We involve more people, we involve more parishioners to provide comprehensive support to those who are in need. I don't want to speak about some specific groups of our society, because we need to support everyone who is in need, and everyone who is capable to provide this support should be involved in this process, because church is the oldest social institution, and church has proper experience of how to provide such social services. So we organize everyone who loves others, God, and is ready to support others in our activities. If there is a need, we are always more than pleased to support people in need or to provide contacts of those who can provide such support. Our church is located in 5 Pastera Street in Odesa. This is the church or cathedral of the birth of Christ. So if you want to provide help and if you want to be involved in our activities, so please address the church, and you will be referred to the special areas. How your church, Orthodox Church, supports the armed forces of Ukraine? Our servicemen are our brothers and sisters, our parishioners, and they are our defenders. So we try to do everything possible to support them. So these are thermal imagers, periscopes, and other items, even like leggings. So we provide different types of equipments, not only thermal imagers, but also drones. We even provided uniform for them during the initial stage. So if there are some needs, we find the ways how to support our army. But the most important thing is, of course, prayers and the moral support of our soldiers, or moral rehabilitation of those who experienced shelling or were wounded on the front line. Our priests work in hospitals. This is how our church works with Ukrainian military. We've had this experience for 9 years now, and they say that on the front line everyone believes in God, because when people get in difficult conditions, they can feel God's presence, and people want to get in contact with God. To be guided by the God. That's why it is very important for priests to be on the front line. So around 50 priests are now on the front line. I don't know if this is a front line or a second line, but I know for sure that our priests support Ukrainian military. It is very important for the military and for our church. Thank you very much for being with us today. Thank you for your time. That was Archpriest Theodor Orobets, Secretary of the Odesa Diocese of the Orthodox Church of Ukraine. Stay tuned. I'll see you at noon.